we'll address it. So. I'm going to turn my mic on. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to turn this one on. Jim, you know how those work, right? Bill, you know how they work.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I know, I got my phone. Yeah. We're good. I haven't used it yet. Maybe Monday. I think I got some stuff. All right, it's 5 o'clock. Welcome everybody. Welcome to our audience, obviously, maybe joining us from their laptop, their cell phone, whatever. My name is Paul Harrington. I'm our town manager here. Quick introductions. We have our mayor, Todd Archelashi is here with us. Selectman William Hester is here. Public Works Director Jim Rollins, engineer down at Public Works. We have Bart, and then we also have our grant and budget analysis gentleman, Tom, joining us tonight. So tonight, I want you all to know that we're here to listen, okay? And I've had a lot of tough meetings over almost 2 decades in municipal government. I can tell you that this may not be the hardest one I've actually had to go through, all right? I've been in meetings where I've had to deal with much more crushing issues. The reason I decided that this meeting was very important is several months ago, the town posted its plans on the website and on social media channels. And I saw an absolute eruption of people being unsatisfied with the way these plans were going to go forward. So we sat back, we looked even further, and we decided that a public informational session was going to be best. Because when you get the public buy-in in any project that a municipality, the state, or the federal government is going to do, those projects tend to go a little bit better, right? Are you gonna get everything that you may all want? I can't promise that. You may, depending on what you're asking. But remember, what we have to always look at is the needs and then ultimately the dollar amount that it's going to cost to do all of these things. And we're gonna run through all of those scenarios today and talk about each one of these things. I know there was a little pre-meeting with some of you that came early. It's why my coat's already off. Got a little hot here already. I had to take the coat off. But, and a lot of good ideas had already surfaced, and we'll bring those up so everybody can hear them. But I wanted to start this meeting differently. And after last night, and I was going through this presentation in my head, I was first gonna talk to all of you and make you sit through a 20-minute presentation, and you continue to get angry and angrier with me because I haven't let you tell me what you all thought. So I'm gonna reverse this a little bit, and I'm gonna let you all first address us. And and by the way, if you like the project, don't be afraid. Everybody, we're gonna be respectful tonight. We may not necessarily always agree with everybody in the room, but the one thing I ask, and the one thing that builds a great community, is that even if we don't agree with our neighbor, we still respect what might have they said. Now, looking at the room, there may not be anybody in this room that likes anything that's gonna be talked about tonight. That's okay, but there may be 1 or 2 people. Let them have their chance to speak why they may like what the plans are being described as, all right? So with that, Remember, as I said before we went live on YouTube and all of that, if you're going to speak, I need you to come up, because I think your comments are important, and I just don't want to hear them, and the people up here just don't want to hear them, but the people at home need to hear them, but you need to talk into the microphone, which is at the table. The mic is on, so who wants to be our first person to tell us what they think about our Bridge Street intersection redesign? Go right ahead, come on up, grab a seat. We have several people taking notes, so if
sure.
I want to listen more than take notes, but then we have laptops open, everything like that, so we're going to take everything down as a suggestion.
Okay. My name is Adrienne Zeke, and I live on Charles Street, the top of Charles, so I have to put up every day with the mess I have to drive through and be very unsafe. Okay? I wanted to know how much did the town pay for your engineers and who approved it? Okay?
Do you want me to take each question, or do you want to finish first? Because I think right there.
I'm going to go through it.
Oh, you're going to go through them?
answer.
And then, because
Sure.
I just don't want to miss anything, but I can
Okay.
try and remember them all.
They should have fixed the water leak on Bridge Street instead of, to eliminate the problem, instead of spending all that money to get an engineer in there. My second comment is, coming down Charles Street, cars do not stop at the stop signs between Rockwell and Maple Street, coming both ways. I've almost been hit 2 or 3 times coming through. Okay, so that is unsafe. Okay. Plus all the extra cars coming down.
The cars don't stop on which intersection?
All the intersections. How's that? All of them.
But on Maple Street, right there,
Maple.
there's a lot of trees and everything, bushes, people coming,
Maple and Charles, you're saying?
yes,
Maple
people,
Street,
Both
Charles.
sides and Rockwell Street. Okay, so you never know who's gonna hit you first. Okay, now we're on number 3, turning left onto Bridge Street in front of Capuano's. You have your left signal light turned on as you're turning. You are 3/4 of the way up Bridge Street, turning onto Depot Street. The cars coming down Prospect Street do not even stop. They're pulling right in front of you. I can't tell you how many times I've almost gotten hit there because it's so confusing. You have this big circle going up Bridge Street. You have 2 lines to stop on Prospect Street. I'm at the point now I just drive right straight toward them to slow them down. And someday I'm just gonna stop my car and block the traffic because I'm scared, okay? Okay, next thing is turning right on Depot Street to Bridge Street. The lines are so swerved. You come out, they have taken at least 8 feet of the right side of the road off, and they put a crayon line there for you to drive around it, which makes no sense. You are now going into the coming traffic over Bridge Street, going up Bridge Street. So you're swerving, you're taking a right, you're swerving around this line, and you're swerving into the next lane coming up. That, how can you even, why would you even eliminate 8 feet of road? Doesn't make sense at all. What would be the reason to do that? Okay, coming down Bridge Street, 2 ways on the right, turning onto Maple Street. How do you stop when there's an ice storm? You're coming down that road. Nobody stops going down Bridge Street. Even coming down Charles Street in an ice storm is scary, okay? Now you're coming down Bridge Street, now you gotta take a 45-degree angle to go onto Maple Street, and then another 45-degree angle to go onto Charles Street, and then go down to Depot Street.
Another 45-degree angle to Depot.
Onto Depot. How are you gonna do that in an ice storm? You can barely get up and down those roads in an ice storm. And then, what happens when you have fire trucks, and box trucks, and ambulances? Who's gonna turn up there? Who's gonna get up there? Okay. How about installing speed bumps also on Bridge Street to slow the traffic down? You take your life in your hands crossing on from Rockwell Street across Bridge Street. They're coming down that road 50 and 60 miles an hour. It's scary.
Sounds like up on Broad Street.
It's just scary. Something has to be done. It is all common sense. Thank you. Those are my opinions.
Thank you. All wonderful, suggestions there, and I want to hit every single one of those because I think you know, from the purse strings to, you know, the safety to the speed bumps to all of that. And I'm gonna hit every single one of those in the presentation, I promise you, because it's all things that I know you all need to know. But I kind of want to continue for a little bit of hearing from all of you, because then, although, you know, we have a presentation laid out, that's just more of a guide. I can then guide more of the presentation to answer all of the questions. And oh, by the way, you're not just getting one bite of the apple. We'll stay here all night if we have to continue the dialogue. Not that I want to keep everybody here all night by any means, but don't think if you talked once, like you're done and you can't talk like this. I want this to be what exactly it's known as a informational session where there's dialogue that goes between, you know, everybody here. So does anybody else ready to come up?
Yeah.
Go right ahead, come on up.
So my question would be, you're a public works guy, right? You're plowing down Bridge Street, because it is still 2 ways till the bottom, till Maple Street. Where's the snow gonna go when you gotta turn right onto that little Maple Street extension?
So snow shelf.
There's nowhere to go. There's a stone walls on both sides, and there's a giant driveway right there. I mean, it's impossible. I've been a plow driver for 25 plus years.
Yep.
I looked at that, and the first thing that came to my mind is, there's no way
Where's
they're
the
gonna
snow
be able to
shelf?
do this.
Yep.
It's gonna be an absolute terror. And the water's still gonna come to the road. And the side that they kept open going up the hill is actually where the water comes out.
Yeah, we want to address that when we rip up. We want to
That's what I
fix
gotta
that
say
line.
about it. I mean,
Yeah.
from a public works kind of guy, it's a nightmare.
Makes sense.
It's a logistical nightmare.
You'll see as we get into the presentation a little bit about snow shelves and thinking about all of that. So again, valid things that, you know, when this plan presented itself, snow shelves were an issue that came up. You look like,
Oh my God, you know.
but you gotta come up, you know, you're dying to say something, you gotta come up.
You said that you sent out all kinds of stuff on the social media and
Yeah.
that you were gonna do this, and the people were complaining. Why didn't you listen to them then? Why did you proceed? Why didn't you take it into like consideration to kind of redo it, rethink it, come up with another solution when you had so many people against it? Why did you just go ahead and do it?
So we're gonna address that,
Okay.
and I think, and you'll see why I'm gonna answer that one, because that one's a good one, that one got a clap, so I wanna answer that one. So we put up this plan that you'll see somewhere down in the presentation, right? We put it up, and I think the first one went up months and months ago, right? And we didn't get much, like, feedback, we got some feedback. Then we put it up a few months ago. And then shortly after that, we went out there and we drew all the lines, right? And that's where the tremendous feedback happened. And why we wanted to draw the lines is because if you're anything like me, and I'm gonna sit here and raise my hand immediately and say, when you look at a blueprint, right? Can you really, maybe some of us in the room can, but some of us say, what the heck am I looking at? It's a bunch of lines. So why I wanted our team to go out there and literally draw these lines was so that you actually saw what was on the blueprint. So we got the reaction, not necessarily the reaction we were looking, but we got a reaction. Good, bad, or indifferent. We got a bigger reaction when you saw the lines than we just posted a picture.
Oh yeah, we didn't believe you.
So why did we draw the lines? Is because it's a real world example. Because if you're like me, you need those real world examples. Because if you asked me to look at the plans, I would have been like, huh? Well, I guess it. But until it's in the real world and you're physically driving your cars, you're experiencing it, and now we're getting what we were looking for. That feedback. If you're gonna speak, just come up. Just only because I want the audience at home to hear
So
it.
when you're drafting a blueprint, your lines are like straight across.
Sometimes.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yes.
In a road. Excuse me, that is wrong. That is wrong. Or this big round circle, so it stops you from going up a hill. What is that?
I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah.
I am gonna get to that, I promise you. I'm gonna get to the lines and
Hi, my name is John, I live on Pratt Street.
Good job.
So you mentioned the town plan in the back of my mind. I'm just thinking the town plan is what's in the road out there, what you drew in the road is the town's plan?
That is an engineer's plan.
Engineer's plan?
That's an engineer's plan.
Why
Oh,
did the
pass the
engineer,
buck.
why did the engineer alleviate so much of the road?
We're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of the questions.
Yep.
the water leak in the road, trying to fix it by making the traffic go up the hill instead of down the hill, it's not gonna work. You have to fix the leak.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a water main, I don't know if it's, I know we live in a really wet plain up there because it comes up in my yard. I mean, I know we have a lot of water shit, but that has to be fixed.
Yes.
And unless the town is gonna buy property and really reconfigure this intersection, there's not much that really needs to be done. You know, you just.
We're gonna
need to-
talk about that.
You need to separate the traffic as,
Yep.
as it comes up to, takes a right to go up the hill, up towards Pratt Street, where you were using a concrete block and a stop sign. At least it separated the traffic.
Yep.
You have to have a little island there or something to separate the traffic, just like you do on, I think
Yep.
it's a Bridge Street or something over there. That's all. I mean, to me, there's not a lot that needs to be done here. But what they drew, they made a little Formula One track where they think everybody's gonna stay in those lines. It's not gonna happen.
Agreed.
The traffic needs to be able to utilize all the road that you have there, the existing road that you have there. And like I said, unless you're buying buildings and knocking things down, you don't really got a big problem.
Everything that you just said, I'm gonna sit here and literally agree with all of it. And again, I wanted, because everybody comes to these meetings and they're ready to voice, and for me to have you all sit there for 20, 30 minutes as I run through things and not let you voice, I didn't think it was right. Literally last night, 6, 7 o'clock at night, I'm rehearsing in my brain how this is gonna go. I was like, I gotta let the public speak because I saw what was going on just on social media alone. I saw the phone calls, the emails, and the people stopping in my office. When somebody takes time out of their day, and everybody's days are busy, to come to the office to share their, displeasure with something, that's important because everybody's time is important to them. And a lot of people stopped what they're doing, not making an appointment, to just hope they could catch 2 minutes of, my time, 3 minutes, to just say, I absolutely hate what's going on up there. So I knew what this was gonna be tonight. And my goal tonight is not to sell you on this design. I need everybody to understand it. That is not the goal. My goal tonight is to explain how we got here, what it ultimately looks like, get ideas from you, talk about some of the issues with, further, development of this intersection, and really walk out of here with, okay, the town that showed up, the people that have spoken to me, via phone, via email, or via in person, it's gonna help us plan the remaining phase. And I gotta be honest with you. When we get to something, and I'm gonna want, and I hope everybody is truthful with me, there's gonna come an ask, yeah, right? Like, already that's not gonna happen. But there's gonna come an ask, because one of the items that came up is money. And we're gonna talk about that, and I think when you find out the funding sources and all of that, and what it potentially could mean, it may change, and I'm not looking to change anybody's mind, but we have to figure this out, and you'll see the reason why. So, anybody else want, and again, we're gonna leave this open, but what I wanna do is I wanna get into this, because I think the 3 people that have come up to speak have given great questions and great feedback. And I wanna start to dive in, but I also want you all to know that, don't worry, if you have something to say, we're gonna let you speak. I'm not gonna cut anybody off. So are we ready to dive in?
Sure.
Okay, so, we spent a lot of time, and there was a question, that video didn't cost anything, that was all done with pictures and stuff like that were available online. So, important that we go back just a couple of years, and how we got to where we are tonight in this meeting. So, back in 2017, the town at the time said, hey, this intersection isn't all that great because we want to create this walkable downtown area. And we all know, is anybody gonna walk on that intersection right now? I mean, you don't all wanna drive it, right? So back in 2017, the town said, we wanna create this walkable area. And everyone would agree, that'd be a nice walkable area with our downtown area, everything like that. So we went to the state of Connecticut and we said, listen, we're a distressed community, we don't have a lot of funding, we don't want to go to our residents, but we want to study this intersection. Will you give us the money? The state said yes. They gave us $100,000 just to study the intersection. So we hired VHB. They were the consultant firm that came out to study the intersection. Again, just to study it was $100,000, and it was not funded by the town. It's funded by the state of Connecticut. So the way you can look at that, and I'm gonna be the first one to say that, well, the state's money is still our money. You're right. It's my money, it's your money, it's everybody's money, because we all pay taxes. But if we didn't get it, guess what? Some other town's getting it. So I gotta tell you, I play for the name on the front of the jersey. I want as much money for our town as we can get from the state of Connecticut. Because if it ain't us, it's some other town. So I want all the money coming here. So that was in 2017. The study comes back, and it has a couple of key points, and we highlight them. These are just pages from the study. And you're all right, and I'm gonna admit this, right? There was low frequency of crashes over the past 3 years. But town staff noted to the study agency, I wasn't here obviously, and I'm not saying that this, I'm blaming anybody, but that town hall noted that there were some near misses in that intersection. We all talk about it, right? You all say, I almost got hit, So although it's not in the report that, we have, 1 million crashes there, there's been, and people are careful drivers, they don't wanna, deal with the insurance claims, so there's near misses. So that goes into the factor of, into the report, right? We as a town said we wanted a more pedestrian-friendly intersection up there. And we also noted that there's more pedestrian people up there in the summer than there is in the winter, because who goes out in the winter because it's too cold anyways.
Package store.
Well, there you go. But that's in and out, wide driveways at the mill, and that driveway is problematic. And then we have a very steep slope. I think every single person that came up here said that, obviously Bridge Street has a very steep slope. There are no crosswalks over there.
Never was.
Never was.
Walking to school,
Never had a crosswalk, right? Never had a crosswalk. Now, the question becomes, is if we want to create that pedestrian-friendly area, we will need to come up with crosswalks. Because people
walking to there. There's
I know.
nothing there.
You take that walk, there's people with drones.
So remember, and I'm breaking my own rule. So when you guys talk, and I get it, and it's, I want this open, just, try and come forward, because I just want our people at home to be able to hear the dialogue that's going on here.
So this plan that's driven in the road up, drawn in the road up there, you're gonna use the existing roadway that's already there. Am I mistaken here, to plant grass and to put walkways in there and things like that? Is that what you're gonna use that existing roadway for?
You're onto something. Again, is that my plan? That's the plan that we're talking about here. So, yes, to your answer, yes. To where? Great question.
The
So,
building is a piece of crap, you've got nothing going on there, nothing.
okay, so what
I've
if,
lived
now,
there for my whole life.
you're right. So we have a new owner that now owns 10 Bridge Street, right? The town is obviously in conversations with the new owner of 10 Bridge Street, and can it eventually turn into some type of apartment mixed-use complex, right?
Goody.
Potentially. Again, we're not, but can that mill building, convert into something? Or does it simply get knocked down? You got more likelihood of it being developed than not developed, but again, it's gonna rely.
Why not just enforce the law at the stop sign and make people do what they're supposed to do?
Well, that's also an option as well, yes. So, remember, I'm gonna move your seat a little closer to the microphone, but you're good. We're having good dialogue. I just want our people at home to hear it, that's all. Limited parking, obviously, for the old mill buildings. If those buildings were to ever convert, we obviously, people wanna go where they can park their car. They don't wanna park a mile down the road to go walk to a shop or anything like that. When Marshall's opens up, in October, and they made you park a half a mile down the street, that Marshall's would probably only be here for 30 days, because no one would go there, because you wanna be close to the door of a shopping center. And, you take all of that and pedestrian accessibility, that's what the report said. So we took that report. Oh, a little fun facts, we just injected that. I know the numbers are small. These are traffic counts per day, AM and PM. So it's a fairly, busy intersection. It's not a, huge intersection with a ton of traffic, but you look at the counts, 211, 176, you talk, these are just AMs, and then you have PMs down below it. So,
I'm curious how often you guys drive in it right now, the way it is.
right now, I try and do it at least once or twice a week. just
Every
to
day,
see.
how much fun.
Yeah, I don't do it every day. About once or twice a week, I purposely go on that road.
It's absurd.
When you had bachelor school up there, the traffic was so bad, it kept going, and nobody got into an accident. I mean, you had buses, you had all kinds of people going up there, pick their kids up in the morning,
Yep.
drop them off, pick them up, and there were all kinds of traffic,
Yep.
and it wasn't this bad.
Yep.
And now that it's, I feel, subsided, other than in the summertime when you have a lot of people out of state that go up in there,
Yep.
that don't stop at the stop signs, cause I look at their license plate.
Yep.
Anyway, you see that, all that traffic and stuff, and now you wanna do this. And my whole thing is, you're putting a Band-Aid over something that's really a bigger problem. You did this to Bridge Street, but you didn't think of the other streets involved. I mean, you didn't. Like, take the money and tar them, you know, make them, cut those bushes down so people can see. If you're gonna do this fiasco,
Do it right?
yeah,
Yeah.
you know?
I hear you. I hear valid. So we've gone through the history. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit to almost today. So back, former town manager took this report that we got from VHB, went to the state of Connecticut, and said, look at our intersection, right? Look at this intersection. And I have to make that really clear. Didn't say any of the other streets in town. He said, look at this intersection. And he gave him the report that, you know, the town spent $100,000 on, granted it was state money, but said, look at this intersection. The state looked at it. The state then, back in 2022, awarded the town $829,000, right? That was for design, engineering, and construction to fix this intersection. There was no match from the town to unlock that $829,000. So, to date, one of the questions that were brought up is how much money has the town spent? The answer to that is zero. We didn't pay for the study. I misspoke. Our guys did paint the lines, but that was just hourly. So we did paint the lines, very minimum cost, okay? Very minimum. I don't want to like read Facebook later tonight, but your guy, and I'm like, oh geez, I did say that. So I want to be perfectly clear that the only dollars that this town has spent was when our guys went up there and painted.
Right.
Why did they appropriate $800,000 for this particular intersection?
Because we asked for that particular intersection.
I feel that all this additional sidewalks and grass that you want to plant here is because you're trying to utilize every penny of that $820,000. This intersection is not that problematic. It's
Just fix the leak, make it straight lines.
5 times a day.
It's that simple.
We're gonna get to, we're gonna,
Fix the leak, make straight lines.
and it's, so, I've been a part of a lot of these grants, right? And you start to look at, you know, the constructions of intersections, right? And you're absolutely, me, right, who's been doing this for almost 20 years, I get blown away when you look at the price to do something like this. It is astronomical. Do I agree with you? 100%. Unfortunately, I don't make the prices to, like, you know, do all this stuff. It's all the contractors out there. And of course, you know, when you're the town up, and I don't care, it's the town of 169 towns in Connecticut, that price always goes up from the contractor, unfortunately. You know, you always get cheaper prices out, but as soon as you say town up, oh, well, here we go. We gotta, you know, you gotta pay this wage, you gotta pay that wage, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. So, where you and I can do stuff at home, relatively on a less expensive, when you put town of in front of any of this, for whatever reason, and I didn't create it, the price just goes up. So, to answer one of the questions that came up early on, is how much have we paid? The only thing we paid for was the paint and our guys to go out there and paint those lines. That was it.
So what, you gave a kid $1,000.
You're ruining like one of my lines I'm gonna bring up.
Spent or used, it's a terrible solution.
Terrible solution.
Terrible what's
So-
going on there.
So now, we're gonna have that honest conversation
Give the
towards
money
the
to
end.
an engineer. What does he do? Gives it to his son, says, here, paint me a picture. He takes the money and runs, okay? And this is what we have.
I don't
And
think it
it's
was
a
that
disaster.
extreme, but, and we're gonna,
It sure looks
so,
like that.
I don't think it was that extreme where, at least I hope not. I think VHB is a very
So
reputable.
my big question is, I'll say it loud enough so they can hear it.
Okay.
Is this all about fixing this intersection, or is this all about development? So it sounds to me more like, it sounds like more development.
That's a
This town
great
doesn't
question.
need any more development.
That-
It needs to straighten out what we have going.
That's actually a great question. So
It's the truth.
a lot of where, you know, the mindset back in 2017, back in 2022, was to create that more walkable area of town to possibly produce development. Where, you know,
So you want people to walk there before there's anything there to walk
I know,
to.
you can't even go to the store.
Well, we produce dead bodies and heroin needles and.
but let me
alcohol
ask you all a question, right? And you know, there is no right answer. So you're a developer potentially looking at the town of Winston to do a development, right? And you see that, you know, you got these buildings. And you say, well, if I build this and I put a bunch of people and some retail here, is it really gonna be successful because they can't walk? Or if we build this walkable area, does the developer say, now it makes sense for me to build my development here because now people can walk, they can park there.
Now you're gonna
So-
have delivery trucks coming in and out of there to work, to fill out these businesses, and you're gonna be right back in the crap hole you are in now.
You potentially could, you potentially
Common
could.
sense.
Gotta keep moving. So we all know, I mean, listen, it's 2024. I fast forwarded to you know, last year, you know, basically today's time. Here's our intersection, right, that you're all here to talk about. There it is. I don't think I need to, you know, talk any more about that. So what are the problems that the engineers came back with, the town sees? We're gonna run through them quickly, right? So the first one being the length of the intersection. I mean, I've been through a lot of intersections, we all have. I've never seen an intersection like this in my life. Like, the length is insane.
We dealt with it.
The steep slope, I mean, we all agree, you got the steep slope. Too many driveways, we got a ton of driveways over there. You got poor pedestrian accessibility. Now, I know everybody's saying, nobody's walking. There may be some people that walk. We all know that the accessibility for our current pedestrians, they're taking their own lives in their hands, if anyone's walking that area, right? Utility and drainage issues, we've said that, right? Weather issues, we've said that one. See, we agree on a lot more than we think. Potential contamination, right?
The whole building's contaminated.
So we have that. Unsafe parking conditions. You know, we talked about, you know, the liquor store, everything. Like, do people feel safe when they park their car to get out to possibly go to the liquor store or any of the other businesses? Data gaps. We don't have a lot of data because there's those near misses. But how many accidents may have happened? But we have very conscious drivers. Unpredictable driving. That's the biggest one that I heard even before the meeting began. We have a lot of unpredictable driving. Like, is this person actually gonna stop or are they gonna go through the stop sign? We have that as a problem.
That's not just, bad behavior is not confined to that intersection.
Well, that's true. Very true.
That's everywhere.
I'll give you that one. That is true. We have impatient driver behavior. Again, not probably unique to just that intersection, but it can be used as a reason in that intersection. And vehicle visibility and technology. We talked about that. Like, all these items, I think we all pretty much agree on. So they have to be addressed. Now, why the current design? All right. So this is where it's going to get a little different now.
See, that's not even correct.
So what you see up there right now is a modified design of this one.
Wait a second.
I'm gonna switch my your mics.
Where are we here?
Okay,
No, it's, this is Main Street.
so
Main Street's on the left, yeah.
Main Street's here, you're coming up. This looks completely different than the lines, right?
Yeah.
And this is the importance of why I needed to do this. So let's just pause for a second. Again, not trying to sell anybody. First thing, all of the orange is gonna be sidewalks, okay? So those are sidewalks. So you got a sidewalk coming from Main Street, you're going by the mill, you got sidewalk coming in here. The reds are your crosswalks. The blue lines, and they're hard to see, but the blue lines are curbs, right? So you have all the curbs. Goes without saying, everybody knows what green is, but green is grass, right?
Yeah.
So you have curbs. So what you've done here, right, is, now, keeping in mind one thing, when the
What
design,
happens in Bridge Street? You make your grass in Bridge Street?
Well, I gotta explain that one. So remember I said we have a modified design.
Hit the road, seriously.
Why?
Do you know what a nightmare it is to leave my house every day? My neighbor said it the best. I hate leaving my house now.
Okay.
We hate to walk out our door and drive down the street. And this, I'm trying.
not selling. I know you're trying.
But this is ridiculous.
So remember, and I also said this, the
Now, is that a
design
center-
that's
Is that a center island by the Berninitas with the oranges?
center.
I don't see any islands there.
That bottom,
Those are
what's that
sidewalks.
bottom orange thing in the middle?
This one here?
Yeah.
So that already exists right there. These are gonna be sidewalks here.
That's the
That already
grassy
exists
part.
there. We're just gonna put sidewalks on either side.
I don't see any center island dividing any of that.
Where are you walking to? Nobody's gonna walk on Bridge
That's the
Street.
hillside that goes
They're
down.
hoping
to
to
the
put
bridge.
the walk there, and then someone will buy that.
Somebody could buy the property, find a very walkable area of town. So people,
Living a dream.
I do
Okay,
like
so
to dream a
Eli,
little
Tell us
bit.
what happens to Bridge Street, because now we can't go on Bridge Street because it's.
Well, again, so let's pause. I was trying
45 years I've been driving up Bridge Street.
to get there.
Where
So,
does the houses, where do the driveways go that live on?
Okay, let him finish. Go
Okay,
ahead. This
please.
is interesting.
So-
It's getting good.
first thing I said before the slide came up was this, the design that's out there is modified to this, because when this came back from the engineers, the first thing you gotta do, or one of the first items we did, is you talk to your emergency crews, police, fire, and ambulance. First thing the fire department says is, we need access, we gotta go up Bridge Street with a fire truck.
Yeah,
So when the plan first came over,
Walking down Bridge Street with a fire truck.
yeah, right. What-
well,
Oh,
You can't.
you can't.
you can't, no.
Sorry.
But there's other ways. But remember, when you're coming back to the station, you're not in that emergency mode. You can take a little bit more
So
time.
he's gonna go on Maple Street
That's
down
a
Charles
ridiculous
over
answer to not wanting to get your ass fast down Bridge Street. Okay, then
For
it's
a fire
okay.
truck?
That is, for anybody,
Oh,
for anybody.
well, we're in
It's
the
not- It's just
fire
silly.
truck. But hold on.
Dude,
So, this has been modified because of our emergency, crews saying, I need to get a fire truck up that street. So, what you're seeing here, the biggest
You're
thing.
going up, but you're not coming down.
You're not coming down, exactly, because we wanna, stop traffic. So, when you see this, and I know what you see, and this is where it's been brought up several times, and I said it myself, it does look like somebody went out there, a 6-year-old went out there with their crayons and they drew a bunch of lines. When it goes on paper, and these are curves, because remember, right now, you're seeing the actual pavement. And it's just like not registering, because it doesn't register with me. And you're like, but when you got a curb here, and you can't actually.
I'm gonna call this all out right now.
Yeah.
This is all about somebody developing this crap. And everybody else around us that's lived here for 50, 60, 70 years is gonna get banged out because somebody wants to develop that crap whole building. I'm just gonna say it. And it's exactly what's going on here. I can't even,
so everybody who's been.
It's just as corrupt as a big
paying
politics.
taxes all
It's a
this
bunch of
time,
shit.
Now it's a nightmare for all of us and y'all don't
I
care.
gave, stop lying.
Well, wait.
Because you're not considering, you're listening to us, but I don't feel like it really matters what we say, because you're doing this anyway.
So,
Yeah,
I-
because your ultimate.
I gotta
goal
answer
is
that
to
one. I gotta
develop-
answer that one. So I think.
Your goal is to develop the building.
I think it's unfair to say that we're doing this regardless of what you all say. If I stood up here and said, hey, whether you like it or not, we're building this,
You are,
But
you are.
I haven't said that.
Yeah, but you are.
When?
Okay.
You haven't said it.
Okay.
But looking at that thing, do you see where the stop sign is supposed to be on Prospect Street there? Put your finger up.
Yeah.
Right, no.
Oh, sorry,
Go
sorry.
down.
Yeah.
Right there, up
Yeah.
above a little bit.
Yeah.
A little to the right.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that's
don't wanna
gonna
block
be
it.
back here. So the whole thing of it is, it's not even gonna be able to see the traffic coming up through Main Street or where Capilano's is on Willow Street, because they're gonna have to go up further. So they're gonna block going up Bridge Street because they can't see anything.
They're not gonna have a Bridge Street, it's gonna be grass. So
Well, no, because remember, we had to modify it because of the emergency
You're
crews.
just giving a one-way
Okay, so-
So what,
where
and
do people
again,
live at, where does their driveway go? If you live on Bridge Street, where do you get out of your driveway if it's grass?
where are you talking?
Going up Bridge Street, you're making grass.
Oh, right here, we're obviously gonna have to cut in a new driveway there for them.
To
So,
where?
For the house on the.
gotta look at it.
To
So,
where? They live on Bridge Street, they have their
Remember,
driveway access.
if this isn't grass, right?
There's one.
Because you got one way, they still have their driveway. They'll just have
There's
to turn
3
out
or
and go
4
up.
houses on that street.
Yeah, but the grass doesn't continue all the
Yeah, who
way
cares, right?
up. It doesn't, you're not putting grass the whole length. You're just putting grass primarily, like, I mean, I know it depicts
Where the
further,
cones are.
but you're not grassing it all the way
That's
up.
where the cones are right now.
So,
Yeah, so where are they getting off Bridge Street?
I'm
Where are they
not,
coming off Bridge Street when they're coming down it?
Is it still gonna go like this, like we're on roller coasters? Yeah, cause what am I gonna do in the winter when I gotta go up Bridge Street to get home?
when
When
you,
I'm going like this?
yeah, again,
Yeah, I
that's
heard you drive
valid.
that way every day for the rest of the
Well,
month.
twice a week, not every day.
No, every freaking day,
Oh.
for the rest of the month, you go that way and see how much fun that is.
I can, I
Do it.
probably won't enjoy
I
it.
dare you.
But I wanna,
No,
I wanna temper something where I want everybody to know there's not a construction crew coming out tomorrow to put this in
I
play.
understand that, but
So, and maybe in the past or whatever, you just felt like government just, that's not what this meeting's about.
no.
Because if that was the case, you know, there's no need to have a public information. I wanted this for a reason, right? I wanted this because one, when you bring a bunch of people into a room, an idea may percolate that changes stuff. But I have to just say, when you say, well, you're doing it anyways, that's not determined. That has not been determined.
I disagree.
There is,
I think you're gonna spend that $830 million.
so we're gonna talk about that.
Whether, you know, if you don't, you're not gonna get it back. And
Now, so there, all right, I'm gonna jump, did you wanna say something? Because you
No, I
didn't
just
really.
moved up here.
Oh, okay. It's a good seat up there. It's a little rough back there. I don't blame you.
I just want to say that it looks to me like you're missing the whole big picture of the safety issue.
Mhm.
You're building this and you're planning it, but nowhere does any of that fix any of the safety issues
Mhm.
that happen to us every single day. And Karen's right. I leave my house now and I literally have to sit in my driveway and decide which way do I want to get killed. Do I want to die over here? Do I want to die over here? My granddaughter's 16, she just got her license. We've almost been hit, I don't know how many times, and she'll say to me, is it my turn? Well, what the hell do I know?
Yep.
There's cars, even if it is your turn,
Yep.
cars are pulling out.
Yep.
And so I just say, just wait till everybody goes.
Yep.
You know, be
Yep.
the last person so that you don't even
Yep.
have to think about it.
Great.
So I think whatever you decide here doesn't address the issue of the safety.
And I hear, and this was one of the reasons why I wanted to have this public informational session, right? And again, I'm gonna keep hitting the fact that, what was your name, John? John, good. John, you hit the nail on the head. You couldn't have hit it any stronger. Like, you're gonna spend that $829,000 one way or the other. And listen, to put it bluntly, you're 1,000% right.
I have no problem
we
with that.
don't
Just don't
begrudge
spend
you
it all
that.
right there.
We
Yep.
want you to spend it.
But hold on, but here's the issue.
Productive.
Here's the
Increase the
issue,
police.
right? So here's the issue with this, right? And this is why I wanted all of you here, this is why we've been very public about this. Because the grant was applied for this section, for this intersection, I have to spend it only here. So I am asking that we come up with a plan so I don't have to turn back $800,000 to some other community.
Can I ask you what the water problem is? Do we know where that water's coming from?
Jim, Jim can answer that one.
So,
Wait, Jim, I gotta turn your microphone on so the people at home can hear you.
So it's not a water leak, it's groundwater, a spring of some type.
The one
We-
in my backyard.
yeah, we have it in our yard.
Right, the hillside's really rough.
So it's very difficult to alleviate that.
So we've tried to intercept it multiple times. Each time we do, we get it for a little bit.
I
It
see
just,
it work, yeah.
it just appears further up the hill.
Water's gonna find it.
I've done a lot of drainage in my life. This is the most confusing one I've ever seen.
Couldn't we spend 800 grand trying to figure that out?
Yeah.
That is,
We don't need to put in these sidewalks.
well, that is definitely part of the equation. That has to be fixed as part of this job, no doubt
Because this is
about it.
gonna be nothing if it's not
Correct.
fixed.
Correct.
That's correct.
I mean, we're gonna
Correct.
come down in the winter time, like you said, it's gonna be an ice skating rink
Yep.
right in the middle.
Yep.
Cause that water's gonna come down.
So that comes into all of this. We
So
wanna,
spend that money on that, we won't worry about Bridge Street.
well,
and
that's part of Bridge Street, but And remember, we have to, for the most part, stay true to the original grant that we applied for, right? So we have to create an intersection that, don't shoot the messenger, creates a little bit more pedestrian friendly. So when we're thinking of ideas, we have to be a little bit pedestrian friendly. Listen, if we scrap this, I'm okay with that. The issue becomes, is I'm not giving back $830,000.
Fix the road, fix the leak.
But how,
You
done,
gotta
agreed,
fix that before you can do anything else.
agreed. But to unlock the $830,000, right, and the way the state works with grants is it's reimbursement, and you have to submit the plan, and they go, okay. So when I submit the next plan to them, yep, we're gonna address the leak, but I also have to address pedestrian. We have to, or we give it, because one or two things are gonna happen. We wanna fix the leak. Would you rather the state pay for it, or us? I know my answer. I'd rather the state, right? So, I get it. We can get there. And again, the town isn't sold on this place. I remember when we sat in a room and we got these, right? There's not one person in that room that said, this is great. Nobody said it. Nobody said it. But we said, okay, this is the best we have. And I can tell you, so other designs were talked about. And here's the issues with the other designs. I gotta buy property. And again, when you put town of in front of everything, guess what everybody's asking price just went through? Through the roof, right? Somebody said it in the earlier meeting. Well, how about one of them roundabouts? I know they were kidding. That was one of the, can you imagine if I came here tonight and said, we're gonna put a roundabout there?
Sure.
Now you're really gonna hang me on the pole
And
outside.
you're coming down.
But it doesn't
Bridge Street
matter,
around
you're
the
still
belt.
gonna have water there.
We gotta fix
I
it.
don't care what you put in there.
We gotta fix the water.
It's still gonna be water.
I'm just interested in what was the thought or the logic of doing away with traffic coming down Bridge Street?
To create
Why
one-
would that even, what does that save us? What's the advantage of not letting traffic come down Bridge Street?
So in an engineering's mind, you can create less of an issue if you have less traffic in an intersection. You want the easy, the answer of that?
You put all that traffic on the
You put it on.
amount of traffic, you're just pushing it off to a different avenue.
sending them
And now
Just
I
giving
can't
you the
avoid Pratt
answer.
Street anymore. I used to come down, up and down Bridge Street to avoid Pratt Street. I'm at the top of Lewis Street.
Yep.
There's no reason for me to go to Pratt Street, ever.
There is now.
I can't.
If
So
you
you have
utilize,
the
And
river
like I
walk
said-
in Winston. You know that little
Yeah.
river walk? Who uses it?
The druggies.
You wanna put traffic,
Well,
pedestrian
I
traffic.
get it.
Okay.
There are other people that
I
use
Okay,
used to work at
would
the
you take your
daycare.
kids walking there?
Well,
Yeah, I used to work at the daycare, we would take the wagon and we'd walk down there, and what do you find? They had to be in the wagon because there was needles all over there. They clean it up? No.
so before I even sat with any of you, it's not the final look, okay? Like before I even talked to you, before I even knew the crowd I was walking in, I knew the crowd I was walking into. But before again, and this just goes back and that's not the final look, right? I knew what was going on publicly, social media channels, people stopping
Is there gonna
in.
be a town vote on this?
There's not necessarily a town vote,
Well, no,
because
there's
there's, again,
Why would there?
it's state funding, right? So the state does a bunch of stuff that, maybe we don't necessarily agree with and stuff like that. But, again, don't think that you're gonna wake up tomorrow morning and the bulldozers are gonna be out there. They're not, okay?
Spray paint.
Can we just put
Now-
the street straight again? Could you just take the damn waviness off
Take the
Bridge
cones
Street?
out.
Yeah, please, because I always go up Bridge Street. You can't, nobody stops at the package store stop sign anymore.
No.
Nobody stops at any stop signs anymore.
You're
You're
the
in
one
the middle
that
of the road. I don't care.
this question isn't about that, it's about your funding.
Yeah.
This $830 million.
Yep, 830,000. 830 million, whole different ballgame, buddy.
We utilize all that money and we go to the state and say, we corrected our problem without utilizing some of your funds. Don't you get like a plus sign or some type of credibility with the state saying, hey, look, guy in the town, the
Yeah, town manager, yeah,
and
yeah.
everybody, they figured this problem out, not needing as much funds as we gave them.
Yeah.
That should be a shot in your arm later on when you go find somewhere else and say, we have another issue over here.
Yeah.
You know, they shouldn't look at you cross-eyed and say you're asking for too much money, because now you have a little bit of legitimacy that, hey, we're trying to save the state money
Yeah.
and still correct our issues here.
Again, I don't disagree. I know
I
I'm
just think
relatively
so much
new. I
crazy
got, a
money
little
to
over.
spend this money, and I understand, we don't
Yeah.
wanna give it back.
Yeah, we don't wanna
I just
give it
wish
back.
we could put it somewhere else,
Yeah.
we can't.
I wish we could,
Right here.
yeah.
But can't you come up with another
It's
idea?
difficult,
Well,
yeah.
and
it's
again, that's why we're here tonight,
Okay.
is to start.
Take the lines
Throw-
off and
but-
redo it.
But hold on, we gotta come back. I think we're getting somewhere, because I think we're getting somewhere, because you're saying, can we do something else? I'm saying that's not off the table. I think we all agree, which is the biggest one, is we're not giving $830,000. Right? We're all there. So we gotta solve this problem, right? And I know ultimately it's the town's responsibility, but we're asking for input that the engineers maybe didn't think of, town staff didn't think of. Now, before we keep going, this is for everybody that says they gave it to their kid and he drew a bunch of lines on it. That's the actual plan, right? Now,
That is, but that isn't.
yeah, so, now watch what this does. See, you can see our crazy line
Yeah,
that y'all love, right?
yeah.
So hold on. So now we start talking about, it creates designated turn lanes, and I'm not selling you guys, but these are what we want to create with whatever we finalize with.
But how do you stop them?
Wait, where are we? We're this way.
So, you need, so you're going, here's the one way on Bridge?
Yeah.
That's the dump.
You see that over there on Maple Street where it says the arrow's going that way?
And the curving coming around and trying to go up, it's, drive it. Drive it
I have,
every day.
yes.
No, you don't.
Well, twice a week.
Once in a while, for
Yes.
fun. Good luck.
I don't know if it's for fun.
What I
Well, it's
what I
not
think you're getting from your town people here is,
$139,000,
they
why
don't
don't
want
they
that
fix the
street
roads in
one way.
Winston?
So again, the grant that we applied under was a community connectivity grant, I forgot the exact name of it. We have to stay in, and again, this was 2017, 2019, we went to the state and we asked for money, right? At the time, the president, town manager said, hey, we got a problem. Here's our problem state. They said, here's $830,000 to throw your problem. They didn't tell us how to fix the problem, they just said, go fix your problem. Here's your $830,000.
So why can't Bridge Street be two ways?
Not saying it can.
Why?
I'm not saying it
That's all
can.
I'm
That's the
All your
big
people.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
They don't want a one-way
I'm not, so that's a big one. So
Yeah, that's
the
big
staff
one.
is here.
Make it the same.
So you want Bridge Street two ways.
Yes.
Okay,
We want the
so,
roads fixed up there too.
Yeah.
I haven't had roads in 40 years. I've been paying my taxes in 40 years.
Man, I can remember when I was going to school, they used to pave Charles Street every single day, every single year, just before school, because I'd get the tar on my shoes and
Yeah.
my mom would kill me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a line.
Yeah,
It was-
yeah,
I mean, that
yeah.
was thick.
They take, yeah.
So it's like, they don't even, you haven't had that there for
So-
years.
40.
So keep going back to, okay, we want Bridge Street two ways.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah, yes.
Crosswalks. Now, keeping in mind, I have to get you guys to agree with crosswalks.
Okay.
Because I gotta create a pedestrian-friendly intersection to tick some boxes at the state of Connecticut. So, are we in agreement?
Rockwell and
What?
Bridge. Rockwell and Bridge. Crosswalks.
Okay. Rockwell and Bridge
Slow the
crosswalks.
traffic down.
Okay.
If you have the crosswalk there and people aren't gonna stop on Prospect, what good is the crosswalk?
Yeah.
They can't see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
When you're coming up Main Street or you're at Capolanes
Yep.
at that stop sign,
Yep.
they don't stop.
I get it.
So that's another problem.
Okay.
So have Bridge Street normal,
Okay.
and then, yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
But we agree,
Yeah.
just because
yeah.
when we go, we agree, I gotta get, because I gotta unlock the money,
Yeah.
I need
Okay.
crosswalks. We're good?
I'm
Those are
looking at
good.
Prospect Street
So,
here.
the next time we do this and I have crosswalks,
There's grass right
I
here.
want to grab a
Just look at
comment.
grass.
I couldn't type as fast as everybody talking over themselves. There was a comment about where they wanted crosswalks, and I
oh, Rockwell and Bridge.
Rockwell and
Cross-
Bridge where the kids cross for school.
You want crosswalks across Rockwell at Bridge,
Yes.
across Rockwell
Yeah.
at Bridge Street.
No, it's Prospect, right?
Across Rockwell Street, coming down Bridge Street, across.
If you're coming.
Down Bridge Street.
That's up
Across
higher, it's
Rockwell.
higher
Yeah,
up.
it's higher.
It's higher up.
Cars don't stop
You don't
up
see the
there.
cars coming over the
Can't
hill.
see anything.
Yeah, and they come over the hill fast.
Yeah,
but that's not a problem you can solve tonight.
no.
Oh,
We're not solving any problem
I'm
tonight,
taking
we're,
comments.
we're just,
Because we
There
don't
was a
remember all.
major accident
so
there.
here's all the streets labeled, so we have I moved the presentation
All right.
around, just so we have a better depiction of, so, we agree that to unlock the 830, we gotta create a pedestrian-friendly area.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah,
Sidewalks,
yeah.
Why a pedestrian-friendly area?
because it was a pedestrian-friendly grant. I didn't apply for the grant. It wasn't just to fix the, if it was an $830,000 grant to go fix an intersection and it had no, notion to it, problem solved.
Well, there's kids.
But I gotta add a pedestrian
There's
portion.
kids that walk back and forth to school there, and I agree with that. There
Okay.
should be crosswalks.
Should be crosswalks.
Exactly,
Go back
soccer
a few
field.
pictures.
Which way am I going?
Go backwards.
So backwards to the
Keep going,
front?
Keep going. No, backwards, going backwards.
Well, backwards means to the start of the
Well, you
presentation,
had-
the
you had-
end.
You had the streets all up there, it was in green, it was actually a photo.
The big one with the,
The one you had up just before.
Okay,
grass and-
I wanna list the streets, but that's fine, I can,
yeah, that
that one.
No.
You wanna
showed it
point
the
there?
other- You showed it the other way. We were looking up Prospect Street. We were looking up Prospect Street. It was only probably 2 or 3 frames from when I got up here to go back.
Crosswalks,
We were talking about crosswalks here and sidewalks.
You're going 50 miles an hour over that
That has
hill.
nothing, it's still new.
Where did I,
Stop.
wasn't this one?
No, it was a summertime photo. It was grass, everything was green. It was a real live photo.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Oh, wait a minute. No, this would. It was the 2024 photo.
Yes.
Should be that one.
No, it was green. It was summertime. The grass was there. When I came up here, you only had to go back like 2 or 3 pictures.
I think it's the one where you were overlaying an outline for the turning lanes, and then the next thing. was the-
Anyway, I was looking up Prospect Street towards the package store. Right there.
Yeah, that one. Okay.
Can we utilize that grass running along the right side of, the left side of Prospect Street as sidewalk? Instead of putting the sidewalks over on that side of the street.
Yeah.
Can we put them on this side of the street where that grass strip right there, because there's a stone wall
So
right there.
you're going.
Correct, right there.
but yeah,
Correct.
you're going there.
The first line is a stone wall, the second line out by
Yep,
the road
yeah,
is
yeah.
just a curb.
Yep. I know
Can you
you're
use
talking.
that grassway as walkway?
They're both-
Instead of putting the walkway on the other side of the street?
That grassway is elevated above, Prospect Street
road.
by about a 4-foot height.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
This property is elevated, and you can see the stone wall to the left.
There's
The
2
one-
stone walls.
There's 2 stone walls, you're correct, all right, yeah. Is that one elevated that far?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that one on the right was
You're
that.
thinking come here, but you're elevated, now you're off the.
Is that private property?
We were out there looking at that with the adjacent property owner this week, actually. I don't have a survey of it, like an actual A2, but I do believe that the lower wall is town property, the upper wall is private property. One of the surveys that I had seen makes me think it's right at the base of the wall. The property owner thought it was further towards the middle of that grass median. But, so I don't know the answer
So if it was,
exactly.
okay, with the property, if it was a property owner, could we purchase that part of
There-
it?
there's-
Everything's an option.
Because I would rather have the sidewalks to there.
Yeah.
I mean, you see an existing sidewalk going up the street. There's an existing sidewalk, the sidewalk stops when it gets
Does
to the back of the
anyone
store.
know if this sidewalk used to was there back forever ago?
The sidewalk was there forever.
Was it?
Before.
No.
Here.
Up on top of
Yes,
the grass median.
because I lived on Charles Street, and the train station was down here, and the Nataros owned the package store and lived upstairs, and I used to go
Remember Town
there
Up.
all the time to
That's
watch the
my
train
issue.
come in. That was a sidewalk.
I can't.
Now I go back
Because
and
it's
date
TV.
myself, but anyway.
But no, I was also,
When the train station was there, I used to go there and watch the trains come in, and I'd sit on the wall over there. But, yeah, it was a sidewalk, with actual sidewalk, but they let it go.
It doesn't work on the TV. That's the problem. I have a laser pointer, but it doesn't work on the TV. See, it's beautiful, but it doesn't work on the, so.
Instead of having people walk across that intersection,
Yeah.
whole wide intersection.
So again,
come down
we
that way,
can
cross
look at
street,
that.
cross that street.
And remember, by town, we have a town right away. Ooh, this is gonna be a popular comment, on everybody's property of like 6.5
Right,
feet,
and so
right? We have a town
I
right
didn't
away,
wanna
right?
say that.
So, I have rights to, well, we have rights to everybody's 6.5 feet, but, you know. Anyway, so we agree that we wanna, all ideas, there's no bad ones. Bridge Street's 2 ways. Crosswalks are good. Potential sidewalk on the other side than
Get rid of all those
This-
squiggly lines.
get rid of all the squiggly lines, right? Now, I will tell you, the easiest, like, if we could, you buy that property, we don't have enough money, and you can make the intersection better. It's not an option at
The only thing that
829,000.
made sense in this whole thing was on Willow Street, the two arrows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that's
the only thing
good.
that made sense.
we did something right.
You did one thing right.
Actually, may I say something? Do you guys mind? I do like this,
Yeah.
just like everybody else does.
Yeah,
I would like to see the same thing here.
yeah.
Right.
Goes this way, and I also would like to see the same thing here.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
This
problem
way
there
or
is,
this way, because I ride my motorcycle
yes.
3 or 4 times a week. I do this intersection more than once a week, 5, 6 times a week.
Oh, you must love it now.
Oh, it's great.
it's scary.
So, I like coming down this way because my legs are kind of short. If I get too much on the hill, I'm gonna lose the motorcycle.
On
So I
Willow-
do like this a little bit of a curve here, but I also have a friend that lives on Maple Street. So you wanna be able to come across Maple, you still wanna be able to go up Bridge Street from
That's
both
not-
ways and this way. So
that's
this,
That's Depot Street.
That's
well,
Depot.
whatever, so I still gotta go to Maple. So we need a left and a right and a straight across.
So now-
A left and a right. Take out all the stuff, continue the sidewalk around, and then continue the sidewalk and possibly maybe
But
over
where you're
here.
pointing on Depot Street, you have to pull way forward to see.
Right, so you still have to come out further, so maybe
Yeah.
you
But
now
have to
let
bring
me-
it out further.
Let me ask
So
you
you could,
this.
so they're a little bit more even.
I'm not an engineer, but I've sat in many meetings of them. Don't shoot the messenger. If all of that gets done, I have a feeling the engineer potentially is gonna come back and they're gonna tell us, we're gonna put some type of an island. Right?
No, just that round thing you had.
But, so I got a little mixed reaction on that one.
No, I-
Like a bit, because what you wanna do is, you wanna create that safety where right now you're pulling out, you don't know.
Prospect Street, not in the middle of the intersection.
You had it before, you had that big round thing where the stop sign was in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
middle.
Well, we want,
Down
yeah,
off
but
And that's the
it
island.
needs to be a
I
little
like
bit
to
more
see.
professional than
Yeah.
just, than
No,
that.
but that's what you
Yeah.
had.
That's
Some-
like putting islands in parking lots. Doesn't make sense now.
Slows people down. You know what? That's why they do that. So it slows people down in parking lots. The reason they put islands in parking lots is to slow traffic down, so people walking their cars don't get hit. Why I bring up the island is, again, we do want to slow people down for not only vehicle, but for pedestrian. That's why the word island's gonna come out, because you want to prevent just that fluidness, and you want people to stop at stop signs. If there's a structure in front of them, meaning an island, and they have to physically
But is
turn
there
their
enough
wheel.
room there for an island like that?
Not the engineer, by
I know,
any means,
but
we gotta
that's
figure
what
it
I'm
out.
thinking, that's
But
why
I had to
said,
throw
well,
that out,
Well, there will be if you don't take so much of the roadway, right?
and there could be, and again, not the engineer, but
But it
I
does,
had
the
a-
same as you do down here on Raleigh Street, there's a little island right there. You need another one right up on the other,
Yeah.
Prospect, same thing, small,
Okay.
doesn't have to be, yes, right there.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
the line.
right there.
now,
So you need something over here for a little island, you're
No,
saying?
no, no, no.
No, no, up further.
Up more.
Up further, up there.
Up
Okay,
there.
here?
yeah, that's where I was looking.
In the
No.
middle.
See
Oh,
where
you're
that
going-
yellow
yeah.
line
Where
is
the
coming?
stop sign is.
Yes,
Yes,
there you
yes,
go.
yes.
That's why he's the mayor. That's why he's the
Plus he's
mayor.
taller.
At the reach.
So, okay, this is your opportunity, and again, I have to keep it, because I was feeling like, oh my God, everybody just thinks we're gonna, like, put the bulldozer out there tomorrow. We're not.
We
They're-
can't.
they're- Well, we can't.
We
That's-
can.
Don't dreaded that, no.
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, so, this is your opportunity, and we'll do more of these, because, again, this is important that we all, buy into this thing.
Yeah.
And I knew this was gonna be a tough meeting, and some people left the meeting, and I hope they understand that this isn't set in stone. I wasn't trying to sell anybody, I was just given the task of, hey, you gotta walk them through it, see where we can come up with, and here's where we're at.
We wanted a solution to the disaster.
And we're
Safe-
getting there.
a
But
safe-
isn't a
safe-
solution that everybody is chipping in to a better
How
solution?
long
than-
will it take to get a safe solution?
Listen, so the only way I know is to be truthful. Engineers are absolutely insanely booked. And I'm gonna be 100% truthful with you. So you have $829,000. We've paid engineers X amount of dollars, and all the exact dollars off of my head that came off of the 829. We're going back to a 0% in terms of design. So the engineers are starting over again, which there's a price tag for that. So we can't overly complicate, because the last thing, yeah, we're gonna take it out of 830, 100%. But where I got it now judged is, I need engineer plans for the state to sign off on, that I need the $830,000 to pay for. Then I need construction costs, because I don't wanna go to you all and say, hey, I need $300,000 to do this. You're like, well, leave it the way it is, Paul. I know the answer, right? But I don't wanna give a dime of 830, and all of you know.
That's what we're
You all
having a
said
problem
it.
here.
Yeah.
That's why we're having such a problem, we're trying to squeeze out.
We're trying to squeeze out every penny we
don't need to
can.
do it all, that's the problem.
And in order to do this stuff, you gotta get the stamped engineer plans. And if anyone has ever done any type of remodel and had to go to an engineer or an architect, we all know those are expensive because it's the stamp on there. Jim could, potentially draw it out on a napkin, but the state's not gonna take that. They gotta have that engineer,
It's
this.
a hard time trying to deviate that water. That's the problem, they get rid of the water on that street, and keep it to length, and that's gonna be expensive.
It's gonna be,
Trying to get rid of that
it's
water.
trying to get rid of it. So we have a lot of things to address, but remember, and going back, when the town went for this grant, they didn't necessarily sell them completely on fixing the water issue. They sold them on a pedestrian-friendly issue.
That's pedestrian friendly, but all those crosswalks.
Who walks up Bridge Street? Think about it. Not very many people.
Yeah, but this is where we got the money from, this is how we have to.
Yeah, this is how we have to spend it. That, who walks up it? I mean,
I'm
well,
trying to
you're right,
minimize
right
the
now,
sidewalks,
nobody's gonna walk up it because it's not pedestrian-friendly.
No.
But if we create a pedestrian-friendly, would they? I can't say they would, I can't say they wouldn't, I'm not playing that game, right? But I know that when the town went for the grant, I'll use the word, they sold it as a pedestrian-friendly. So I have to say, close to a pedestrian-friendly intersection. And I think tonight, and by no means are we looking to end this because we can go for hours and hours, I think tonight what we determined was, we gotta make it pedestrian-friendly. We want Bridge Street two ways. We don't want all of
Kids go
that.
up and down Bridge Street, walking to school.
We didn't agree on.
Kids go walking up and
Up
down
Bridge
Bridge
Street,
Street.
yep.
And now it's not safe.
And now it's not safe. So, again, so,
Can't get back about it.
we're gonna go back to our people, unless somebody has more ideas, we're gonna go back to our people. We're gonna first meet as a team, then we're gonna bring in our engineers, talk about all that stuff.
And call us back in for another meeting.
Yeah.
But I wanna get pretty pictures first. And by
Yeah.
pretty pictures is, cause I don't, if I gave you something like this, as I did the first time when I put it up on our website, and so everyone's like, I got nothing. Then I did it again, I got nothing. Then we drew it and I got crushed. But it did what we wanted it to do. We got the response because we weren't getting it with the pictures.
No, when you wait.
Because the last thing, because imagine, and this is good government. Imagine if we just did it. Well, we didn't though, because it's not permanent. Like permanent would be, I put the granite curbs in, and all that stuff. All we did is we took some paint, right? That's not permanent, right? We did this to say, what do you think? Because you weren't telling us what you thought when I showed you pictures.
Just don't see the grass and sidewalks.
Okay, now that you have all this input tonight,
I'm not sleeping tonight. No, I'm kidding.
when are we gonna see all that malarkey disappear? Is there any need to leave that there for the next few months while you come up with a new plan? Can we just do away with all that and go back to what we had until you come up with a new plan? Why do we need all those cones and white lines and all that crap?
I don't see why.
I don't,
Take it down.
yeah, I don't see, so Am I gonna commit tomorrow morning, our guys will be up there? I can't commit that because I don't know what it's gonna
We'll wait till
But-
Monday.
Thank you. Appreciate
Black
it.
spray paint.
Yeah, no, we can remove it. Again, and I'm not making excuses. We're 4 or 5 guys down in our public works garage. We're spread thin. But I'll commit to you, and you can hear our public works structure. We don't see a reason why it needs to stay up. So obviously,
That's great.
we'll get it down, okay?
Put it down and figure
And I know, because I know this community well enough, if it goes too long, my phone, my email will start ringing. I get that. So I'll commit that we will, change it. But again, the big, and I'm happy for this meeting, because what I needed a lot of people to understand is that I don't want to give back $830,000.
No.
We got to do something. I think we're gonna go back to our people, and I'll be honest, all these ideas that just came up tonight,
And
right?
call another meeting.
We're gonna, call another meeting, you can, I'm not afraid
Yeah,
to meet.
before you
That's-
change the lines.
Yeah, but if it's just pictures like this,
No, we want the other one that you had up there.
oh, you want the other one now too?
Oh, yeah.
So, well, the other one, remember though, the other one is with the lines.
We don't have any cones, that's all.
Yeah. So, well, there's cones, you just can't see them, there's cones there, there's cones, you can't see them.
Well, they're gonna be coming out within a month or two, because you're not gonna start this project this year, you're gonna be plowing that, they're gonna be.
Well, there's a lot, the cones will be gone.
So how long is it
Yeah,
gonna
this
take?
is just a general idea to tell the
We
public.
took the bottom cones down.
Whoa.
How we
How
know
long is it
this?
gonna
Because
take?
they kept going down.
No, because the gas company, just so you know, on Sunday night, the gas company's gonna start putting a new gas main under that bridge. So
I got my keys, yes, thanks, Terry.
Probably about 2 weeks. It's being done at night, so.
So how long is it gonna take for them to get rid of that for us?
Get rid of this?
Yes.
Well, I mean, we can have the cones gone tomorrow. I don't know if we have enough black paint to mark it off.
Can we say by the beginning of October, by October 1st, do you think that's a reason?
What is it now?
Today's what,
Yeah,
a week? So give us a week to 2 weeks, barring anything
A week is fine.
crazy.
It's fine.
well,
To
you get
2
it,
weeks?
it gets done.
Yeah, well,
Now, at least
Again.
it's gonna get done.
yeah, it's gonna get done.
Thank
You can say the town manager said, and you'll know,
We'll give you a one-up on this one.
I mean, before this meeting started, I was getting hung on one of the lamp poles out there, so. I think right now I had a chance of walking out of the building, but, sir, go ahead.
My name is Jeffrey Decker. My wife and I own Bert's Bottle Shop,
Okay,
the package store
Yeah,
on
right on,
Prospect Street. And after listening to what everybody has said tonight, I think Mr. Hester's solution is the best of anybody who said anything. That will satisfy the most people in this room. Now, Tuesday, Jeff Green, Planning and Design, and Mr. Rollins, Winstead Street Department, were over at the store with me, and we also invited a consultant from Torrington, Marty Connor, many-time planning and zoning director in Torrington for years, and now he does planning and consulting. And we went over all the problems. I like that you kept the sidewalk on the right side.
okay,
Now, the gentleman is correct about the sidewalk on the left side. There is no sidewalk.
yep,
It's green.
yep,
And Marty
I was just
suggested,
trying to figure out how to spend some money.
well, I think most of us would be happy if you didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that's not true,
then we wouldn't get our money.
because then we're not getting the money. That's,
Well,
listen,
that's okay with us.
is it?
Yes.
Fixing the water problem then.
But you're not fixing the water problem, and then I'm asking you guys to fix it. By you guys, it's taxpayer funded.
Okay. This is what Marty Connor suggested to Jeffrey Green, Planning and Zoning. The sidewalk remain on the side of the street, which would be the right
Right
side,
side.
where it is right now.
Yep,
Right. The 30-minute parking continued to be allowed across the street.
yep,
If you put up no parking signs, you're gonna put me out of business.
yep,
And 5 people are gonna lose their jobs,
Yep.
their livelihood.
yep, agreed.
Right. Now, there's a drainage problem on the store side. And I've already, we're doing some building there now at the top of the picture. And I've already instructed the contractor to pull the sidewalk back 3 or 4 feet so we can get cars off the road.
Okay,
And there's also a drainage ditch, which you can see right at the top on the other side of the store. Maybe do something with that, put a culvert in there so that we could have.
Yeah, I see it. My mouse won't work because it's a PowerPoint, but I see that, yep,
Right. Maybe put a drainage ditch in, cover that up a little bit.
okay.
And there's multiple problems with where the grass is now if you're gonna put this, like, there's 2 telephone poles in the way where the grass is.
Yep.
And the retaining wall is 4 or 5 feet high, as Mr.
Correct.
Hester
Yep.
said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, I think I talked about, your storefront at a Board of Selectmen meeting, that, I had opened up public comment and people were emailing me, calling me, and stopping in my office. I can't tell you who the resident was, but there was a resident that said we should put no parking right in front of your business. So, so that was just, again, don't shoot the messenger on that, but that was a suggestion that came. I don't think they were saying it to, maybe they didn't think it through, that what would your patrons do and where would they park? But again, this is a diverse thing. A lot of people have ideas. If, I sat with this individual, because I think it was emailed in, and said, well, you're gonna hurt a business and potentially put 4 or 5 people out of business, maybe that suggestion would have been, retracted. But again, people have different ideas, and no idea is bad, Putting four or five people out of business would be a bad idea.
Somebody's opinion who's tired of going up the street and having to drive a little bit to the left to go around some park here.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
ridiculous.
Yeah, you gotta weigh everything out, and again,
We all have to compromise.
go back to what I originally said in the very beginning of sitting down and talking with all of you. When somebody takes time out of their busy day, one of the biggest things that we have, and we can never get more of, is our time. And all of you took time out of your busy schedules to come and share your thoughts about this. It's important, You took the time out of your day to come and discuss this. That's important, I prefer this type of forum versus, and I'll be honest with you, do I read the Facebook forums? I do. Do I have a ton of time in my day to read it all? I don't. I'm a more in the person, like either an email, a phone call, or stop in my office, because I'm not gonna read everything on Facebook. So if you think that the town government is reading everything on Facebook, we simply can't. I'm sure, you all pay my salary. I'm sure you'd much rather me working than reading Facebook all day long,
I
right?
don't think everybody on Facebook that has an opinion about this even lives here.
Or even, I love that, yeah. I sometimes snoop around when it's a really, really bad comment. I'm like, all right, where does this person live? And they don't even live in the state. I'm like, what? So I do take a lot of stuff I read on social media with a lot of grain of salt, but when somebody walks in, you all come to this meeting, I take it serious. And you can see the temperature of the room is already turned down tremendously. Not really? Oh. In 10 days, when all the paint's gone, then it's gonna get turned down. Okay, then it's, okay, I can wait 10 days. It's okay, I can definitely wait 10 days.
No, 7 days.
7 days. Is that business days or?
7 days.
Jim, we're under the gun on this one.
Now let's just keep going on ideas.
Oh, so, any other ideas? Because I don't want to keep you here all night. I know your time's precious. I'm sure most of you probably haven't had dinner yet because I called this meeting right at 5 o'clock. So, and again, the conversation doesn't stop tonight. You go home, you're laying on your pillow tonight, you come up with an idea, email me. My email's available on our town's website. Don't hesitate to reach out. You come up with an idea.
He does read every email.
I read every email.
One quick question, has the engineer figured out that that's what this is gonna cost, $820,000 to do the job the way he's
Oh,
designed?
don't make it cost that much.
So we haven't got, so that's a great, that is a,
Construction's expensive.
yeah, that is a great question. So, they do design engineering in terms of getting ready for like a price, and then you go out to bid. Bids right now, as you probably know, tend to be a little bit higher. So they're within the ballpark, because they wouldn't have designed something without figuring that we have $830,000 to spend. So it's probably within that ballpark, but you never know until you go out to bid.
The big problem is they designed it around the money that was available, but that was in the dollars of 2019 or whatever it was, okay? you know what's happening in construction costs since then, so there's likely to be problems
I think people
or
should
scale
be able
downs.
to do this on a smaller scale and still spend an 800
Yeah,
grand.
oh yeah, you're gonna see how quickly that 830 goes, you
I
know?
think solving that water issue is gonna take
It's
2
big.
to 4,000
Good.
just to fix that.
Could very well, yep, it could very well. I mean, listen, I see things, even when, you know, in my last town, we were building 2 buildings, I went out and asked for X amount of dollars. By the time I got that through referendum, and we drew everything out, and then I went to bid, I needed $5 million more to build these 2 buildings. That's how fast the prices escalated, like, it was crazy. So, we gotta put that all, any other ideas,
Paul, one thing that might help
not from staff, no, I'm kidding, go ahead, Jim.
is if you show them the alternatives that the engineers proposed, just so they don't think it was a, you know, oh, this is quick and easy. There was a whole bunch of, there was a whole bunch of options that we considered, or the engineers drew up as alternatives for us, and we took what we thought was the least bad. And, you know, that's never the way you want to go into anything, but it wouldn't be bad for them to see that. Tom, are you able to pull those up?
The full study is on the town website.
The full study's on the town website, so because I knew the difficulty of this meeting, and we talked a little bit about one of them, the roundabout, like, I wasn't showing that. The other, you know, a couple of the other ones was purchasing properties
That
and
was a
stuff like
joke.
that. So, I know it was a joke, and I go, it's funny you say that, and I'm literally gonna talk about, like, an alternative was a roundabout. If you want, the VHB study is on our website, you can see some, I don't have them on our slide deck, if I did, I would show them to you. But I really, as Jim said, we picked the least of the worst, and showed this one, because all of the other ones, staff was like, yeah, no flipping way, you know, we just can't do that, so.
Purchase Capuanos for 500,000 and then use the other 300,000 just to do the road.
But then we can't fix the leak. That's it,
But I'm
and
saying,
there you
we're gonna
go.
buy
So,
property.
listen, that, you know, purchasing property was a
Fix the
suggestion.
leak first and figure out how much you have left over.
Yeah,
How's that?
okay. But
I think it's number 1, fix the water leak. Number 2, keep the street both ways, up and down.
yeah,
And
We gotta give you some pedestrians.
Minimize taking so much road away.
Okay.
Minimize that.
Yeah.
Don't take all that road away and make
Okay.
this a Formula 1 track.
yeah, okay.
Don't do that. People have a hard enough time staying on the other side of the road.
Slow
on
the
streets.
traffic down somehow.
So commitments, because I'm gonna watch Facebook tonight, commitments that you're getting from me, from the town, is that we're gonna remove the lines.
Okay.
We're gonna do another one of these down the road when we
Yes.
have more plans. I'm gonna test y'all. I'm gonna put out the pretty picture. I'm gonna wait for the response, and then I'm gonna draw it, and then I'm gonna get the real response. Because again, you see how quickly we're removing the lines. But until you do it real world, I think that's the best way to do it. Because if you're like me, and I showed y'all that, oh, it is. Like, and that's why we had to draw. And the reaction was gonna be the reaction. I knew what the reaction potentially was gonna be. It's fine. That wasn't getting me a reaction. So if I draw it, again, I think tonight, you can see that we're gonna involve you all. It's not that it's set in stone. Your neighbor, please call her tonight, because she left a little, just say, hey, they're gonna remove the
She
paint.
might have had to go.
Oh, okay, she had to go, phew. Okay, so it wasn't any, okay. But we're gonna remove the paint, you know? So we're gonna commit that we're gonna do more of these. And the best thing I got out of this is y'all want me to spend $830,000
And
of
we
the
want
state's
an
money.
estimate of where it's going.
Yeah, so,
No,
it's fine.
you are hell-bent on spending the money.
Oh, 100%. You know why? The bigger reason? So the town went out for a grant. What the state likes is when they award you money, that you complete that mission. They don't like making the fancy headline and then it not being
Would the
completed.
state like it if you came in under budget?
The state would love if you come under budget. But what they don't want is you say, I couldn't perform. Because the next time we go in for a grant, the state's gonna say, they score you. That's how you get awarded grants. We're gonna lose points because we didn't complete one of the grants that we
You should
got.
definitely get points for coming in under budget.
I agree. I don't think they score it that way,
No, but they
but
should.
you lose
There should be some
points
advantage there.
that when you can't, so I can't say the H word because, yes, I have to spend that money,
You're
because I don't wanna lose
taking, you're
points.
taking too much of the roadway
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, minimize that as
Again,
much as possible.
That's why we're here tonight. I think when we
Yeah,
come
we really
back,
don't like driving into the other lane.
when we come back with a revised plan, you're gonna see, obviously, less roadway being
We'll be
taken.
here.
I know.
Is Bridge Street gonna be two ways once you take the paint down?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
And Mr. Hester gave you the best solution to everybody that's here.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay,
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
What?
Before you go.
I think one of the things they want
Do
is a stop sign
all
back
the
in the
people
middle.
that spoke tonight, do all of you guys live, I guess it would be,
We live out Brev Street.
up on,
Charles?
Charles?
Rockwell,
Yep.
Rockwell, Pratt,
Rockwell,
Ridge.
Childs,
Yeah.
Charles.
That area.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you see us out there,
We won't run you over.
thank you. Again, thank you all for attending. I know these are tough meetings.
Thank you, we feel
But
better,
we're walking out.
but we're watching you.
Oh, that I know. So, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.